Vikings have been busy as a beaver bringing in draft prospects.
Beaver.
All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar. This episode, we're going to be talking about some prospects that the Vikings have already lined up and some of them who have already visited as far as their draft prospects. They get 30 of them. 30.
They get 30. I think we got, about 11 guys we're talking about? 10, 11 guys, somewhere in there?
Got a good chunk.
I am Lupagus, by the way, and before we get into the vid, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, hop on the Patreon. We're going to do that big Patreon users mock draft. Be a part of that. There's still a couple open slots available. And don't forget to drop hashtag 7,000 in the comments because when we hit that beautiful landmark, milestone, whatever you want to call it, we'll be having a giveaway. An awesome, amazing giveaway.
I can't wait to see that number 7 next to the subscribers. Yeah, let's do this. We're not going to dive into every player overly deep, but this is just getting some guys on the radar that the Vikings are clearly interested in. Looking in the past when they've brought in guys, I know it's a new regime, but it's usually a good chunk of actually get drafted.
Absolutely. A couple of these guys will end up in purple.
They will, and some of them might be undrafted free agents. So let's just dive into it. Number 1, offensive tackle from South Dakota State. Aaron Johnson, 6'6", 300-pound tackle, can play both sides. Big, beefy offensive lineman with a lot of what's the word I'm thinking of?
Oomph.
He's played a lot. Experience.
Yeah, Vikings really haven't done much for their tackle depth right now. Rashad Hill, don't think he's signed with anybody yet, has he? Or am I forgetting?
I highly doubt it.
So they need some more depth. Why not bring a young guy who can play both sides? You like the versatility there.
Like it, and he's from Minnesota. Next up, edge rusher from Houston, David Anini, 6'2", 251 pounds. Edge rusher. I was watching an interview on him earlier. He said his perfect spot would be as a 3-4 edge outside linebacker, and that's definitely what he's suited for. 4'6" during his pro day, benched 25 times. Shrine game standout, big upside. That's his thing. 20.5 career sacks, so he can get after it.
3-4 defense never have enough edge rushers, so let's line them up. Let's bring them aboard.
Speaking of bringing them aboard, how about Kaylon Boogie Barnes, cornerback from Baylor?
Yeah, this guy is all about speed. 4.23, 40-yard dash at the combine. He's 6 foot, 69 tackles, 3 interceptions in his career. Little polishing on the old technique, but you don't see speed like this very often. Not a big hitter. He's more of a drag down kind of a tackler, but you got to love the speed that this guy brings to the table. He can fly. No one's going to burn Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, and there's a couple burners on this list, and the speed alone will intrigue somebody to really snap him up.
Hell yeah.
Snap him. Next up, Jared Williams, offensive tackle from Miami, former transfer from Houston, big body, 6'6", 310 pounds, one of the Hurricanes' most reliable offensive linemen. So again, looking at another tackle. Cole Strange, we've talked plenty about him. We both love him more than anything in the world. I don't think either of us would be upset if we traded up to the number 1 overall pick and took Cole Strange at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, that might be a little bit of reach. I don't know if he has knuckles on his phone case, like in draft day. We move up to get him. But, yeah, this guy, you're looking at a straight center. He's mean. He's nasty. He's tough. Physical player, smart player as well. He can play multiple positions on the defensive line. I think he's going to be a second-round pick. So if we want him, it's going to have to be at 46 or trade back up into the second because I don't think he's making it to round 3. No way.
I think you're right. Round 2 has got his name all over it. Who you got?
I got another guy. Is Cizi Atumwehu from Minnesota, the defensive end, 6'5", 282 pounds. This guy is your 3-4-5 technique. He's going to play with his hands in the dirt. He's got an amazing bull rush. Some kind of give him a little bit of flack for his lack of production in college. He had 81 total tackles. He did have 13.5 of those for a loss and 7.5 sacks. He had his pro day today. Had a lot of guys watching him, and you know what? He blew it out of the water.
Yeah, I heard he had a pretty damn good day. Gopher, well done, sir.
Hell yeah. We need some more DN depth, and he could be a hell of a pick for us in the mid rounds.
All right, another one visiting the Vikings, safety Percy Butler from Louisiana. Pretty damn fast for a safety, 4'3", 6 foot, $194. Everything you read about this guy just says he's a special team stud. I read one profile, I think it mentioned it 3 different times. An ace, special teams ace. a guy that maybe can contribute at safety, but the worst case scenario, you're getting a damn good special teamer. 3 interceptions. A handful of stats, but 3 interceptions is about all I'm going to say. 5 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries. So he can play. And we do need safety depth.
We do need some safety depth. And the Vikings also bringing in some corners. One is Marcus Jones from Houston. This is just a wee little lad, 5'8". So very concerned about his size, but he is tenacious. He will attack. But, man, 5'8" as a corner makes me a little bit nervous.
I don't give a shit if he plays 1 snap at corner. This guy is a special teamer. He is a returner. He's got 9 career kick returns for touchdowns during this time in Houston, 1 at punt returner. They lined up this guy at wide receiver. They lined him up at cornerback. He's a twitchy slot corner. He's got great ball skills. Yes, he's 5'8", but the fact that they're just putting him all over the field, this guy's going to get drafted alone just for his special teams. He averaged 34 yards a kick return this year. 10 touchdowns returned in his career.
Yeah, I'd rather be more of a punt returner. I mean, we got Ngwangu, who's amazing. So I
wish more returner.
Yeah, you said 1 for the punt return. I'd like to see more of those be at the punt returner because I really think that's what we need. But I'm just saying, he reminds me, who's that guy a couple years ago in the draft? I think the Washington ended up drafting him. Another short guy who was supposed to be this just amazing freak, and I don't know if he's really panned out or not. I can't remember his name.
There's a guys like this in every draft, whether they pan. I mean, Trenton Holiday was a guy like that, and also I think he had 2 or 3 punt returns for touchdowns. I could have been off there. So, cornerback is the least of my worries for him, but I think he'll get overdrafted just for the thought of maybe he actually does play offense. They put him out there a handful of times.
He's a name I always take late in my mock simulations.
Let's say Marcus Jones gets drafted earlier than people think. Next up, Tay Martin, wide receiver, 6'3", buck 88, good route runner. Not very fast. That's his knock. They say he's quicker than fast, but he can get open. Produced over 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns during his time. So I like they're looking at wide receiver.
I like looking at big wide receivers. That 6'3" really gets my parts tingling.
Well, what about this? What about Darien Butler, linebacker from Arizona State? Does that tickle your fancy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like linebackers really kind of dropped down the list a little bit when it comes to needs. But you're looking at, a day 3 guy, special teamer right away, add some depth because we don't know really. Troy Dye, is he going to make the team? Blake Lynch going to make the team? Bring in the competition, and will they keep 5'6" linebackers? So we'll see who can make it. But I like that they can battle it out. And this guy he's the short, stout guy, right? Very athletic.
5'10", 221.
Yep. So hey, why not bring in some competition?
Yeah, and he's a 4-year starter, 3-time captain. Always love to see that, and it's actually pretty good in coverage and special teamer, like you said. That's his bread and mayonnaise. Last one. Jack Jones, cornerback, Arizona State. Taller. He's taller than he's 5'11" at least. 5'11", 171, ran a 4.5, 140. But he's a ball hawk.
You got to like that ball hawk. The Vikings lacked big plays in the secondary last year, even the year before. Guys who can intercept the football, make game-changing plays, game-turning plays. That's what we want. And I like that he's got a little bit of caca to him.
There is a little bit of issue with Jack Jones. His talent alone is very good, but some off-field issues. He started at USC, had to then transfer. He got academically ineligible. Then he got arrested for breaking into a restaurant. Spent the year at JUCO.
I'm going to bend him over my knee.
Then he went to Arizona State and was suspended there for violating team rules. But he's damn good. He's really good, and the Vikings must be intrigued. Maybe that's why they have him in. They're really seeing what's up with this guy, but he can play.
His background sounds very similar to yours.
No, I never broke it into a restaurant.
Next Holton Hill.
Yeah. We'll see, but that is the list for now. So they still got plenty more to go. As these trickle out, we're going to continue to talk about every single one of them.
Yeah, these are the guys you got to put on your radar because if the Vikings are bringing them in, definitely some interest there. I don't think you're blowing smoke about some of these players who are going to probably be special teamers year one if they make the team, or even be late round or undrafted players. So they definitely show interest in these guys, and the interest is going to be real for sure.
Let us know in the comments. Any of these guys really get your parts moving.
All right, and remember this: Benjamin Franklin liked to take air baths. He would sit by an open window and let the air breeze over his naked body for about an hour.